Now, for those of you that ever actually saw a Captain video or have seen it on YouTube, one of the things that we know about him is that he never ever used lethal weapons. Well, in my imagining of Captain Video, I tend to see him as a bit more cynical and a little bit more misanthropic. So, indeed, yes, he does use lethal weapons. In the old days, his firearm or sidearm was called, oh, you're going to love this, a cosmic vibrator. Yeah, well, we're not going to make a cosmic vibrator. That would be a whole different kind of video. What we're going to make is what we like to call a blaster. And of course, this is going to be how we do it. Now, to make our Bzzzzapp gun, the very first thing we're going to have to get is a soldering iron with a pistol grip. Now, you can find them at Radio Shack or most little craft stores. Even buy them online. They generally run around $10, maybe $12, something like that. Small price to pay. There's different varieties of them, and that's why when we get into the tools, you're going to see that there's a few things you may or may not need. On the earlier one that I made, if you can see deep inside it, there's a little metal plate with some screws, and that's how I attach the thing to the body of the weapon. But this one doesn't have that, so we're going to have to make a little adaptation. That's why the next thing I'm going to recommend, if you get that kind, is a washer. Now, that's just a washer with about a 1-inch diameter in it in the center, and you can get these at any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those. Really, all it's going to be doing is taking up that little bit of space right there at the end of the where the barrel is going. The last thing you're going to need is something like a plastic drinking glass. Now, this one, you can pick them up pretty much any place. You may have one of these in the cabinet. They're not that hard to come by, and there's variations on it that you can find. It's not that big of a deal. You can use any kind of a cup, because probably you're going to end up painting the thing anyway. Now, the tools that you'll need are pretty simple. You'll need a drill motor with a 3/8 inch drill bit and possibly a 1/8 bit, which there should be floating around here. There he is. And you're going to need a medium-sized screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and possibly a glue gun, depending on which kind of soldering iron you get. And of course, you're going to need a kitten. Oh, wait, never mind. We don't need the kitten after all. Now, let's get down to the actual making. One thing to stress, if you don't have a drill motor available to you, one thing you might consider before you take your soldering gun apart, if you want to get that hole big enough for the for what are we going to call this, the barrel, to go down over the gun, you could always heat up the soldering iron and melt your way in, but make sure you got some ventilation before you do that. Now, what we're going to do is take everything apart here. We're going to break down the gun, the soldering gun. There are 3 screws in the hand grip, and there they go, real quick like. There's also 2 screws holding on the tip, and I'll get those off of here. Let's dump those guys out. Let's get these 2 screws that are holding the tip in place. Naturally, they're going to be aggravating while we're trying to do this in a hurry. Here we go. That one out, and why they put 2 of them in here. Well, that one's nice and annoying. Hang on, we're getting there. Once you got the tip out of the way, and remember, don't do this unless you have a drill. Oh, look at that. Have a drill ahead of time. Anyway, here's all the bits and pieces. Now, quite honestly, I'm just going to just pull it apart. There we go. The element comes right out, slipped right out of the barrel, if you want to call it a barrel. Now, we can put the whole works back together now, and we're halfway home. There we go. And see, we'll put our 3 screws back in place, and they're wanting to be cantankerous. Oh, we'll go back together. There it goes. That's not too bad. Now, this one is a little on the rattly side, but you can fool around with that. You might pack some crud up in the bore of the thing. It's not like it's going to, affect the laser or anything. Anyway, there we are. We're about halfway done at that point. We've got, next thing we got to do is attach, in this case, we're going to have to attach our, oh look, that'll just come out, won't it? There. All right. Now it's not rattly. You learn something every time you do this. Anyway, what we're going to do next is make the barrel where we can use it. Now, Now the reason I said you might need an 1/8" screw, or a drill bit rather, is in case you get one of these earlier models that's got the washer down at the base, you're going to want that to run those screws in to hold the whole works together. Unfortunately, we're not going to need it on this one, or fortunately perhaps, but what we are going to do is drill out our 3/8" hole. I'm sure I'm violating some safety thing with this. Oh, for heaven's sakes, come on. And once we've got it wrung out just enough, we can see that it'll sort of fit together. But that's where we're going to need to use our washer. And let's just fit the washer over the barrel. Put that piece on. Now we're a little bit better fit, but this is where we're going to need our glue gun. Now bear with me because I've never used one of these before. I know, I make all these props, I've never used a glue gun. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Alright, let's push that in. What's it supposed to do anyway? It's a learning experience for me too. Well, obviously it's not supposed to do anything. Oh, there it goes. Is it supposed to do anything? How big of a stick are you supposed to feed this thing? Now this sucker's been working for about 20 minutes. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we are. Alright, let's put a little bead of glue around the base of our gun. Whoops. Never done one of these. This is the first gluing experience I've ever had. Let's slap our washer on it. How long does that take to set up? Oh, not very long at all. Now, on this particular glass, it may take some judicious fitting, but I think we'll be okay. Now, we're going to squeeze some glue around. Well, that's going to stay, isn't it? Alright, we'll squeeze a little glue around the outer rim here. Come on now, play nice. Oh, there it goes. Okay, squeeze a little more. Just like Martha Stewart, huh? I have no idea if that's what Martha Stewart does. I don't think they would have let her have one of these in jail, would they? I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's probably the glue fumes. Alright, here we go. Let's put that together. And as if by magic, it's glued and ready to go. So now, you're ready for your next space adventure. How about that? Now I got two of them. And once you've got everything completed, you're ready to either paint it, make it look any way you want, or just start adding your effects.